Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to tackle something pretty cool, I think.
Okay.
The idea of a villain,
Hmm.
but reimagined as a hero.
I like it.
You guys sent in some seriously interesting material about Wicked.
Oh, yeah, just Gregory Maguire's Wicked.
Yes, exactly.
Classic.
And how he kind of like flips the script on the Wicked Witch of the West.
Right.
Elphaba.
Elphaba, yeah.
She becomes someone way more complex than we think.
For sure.
So I am so ready to jump into this.
Let's do it.
All right, so the stuff you sent in really shows how she's not just like
Right.
straight up bad,
Yeah.
but actually has some,
Yeah.
some really heroic qualities.
Totally.
Like her compassion and empathy are right there on the page.
Absolutely. I mean, think about her relationship with Dr. Dillamond,
Oh, yeah.
the talking goat.
He's like a symbol for all the marginalized groups in Oz, right?
Totally. And the way she supports him,
Yeah.
it shows how much she cares about justice.
It's not just words either.
No, not at all.
She puts herself out there for him.
She does, yeah.
It's like she
Yeah.
can't stand by and watch someone be treated unfairly, especially someone she cares about.
Especially someone she cares about.
And it's not just him, right?
No, you're right.
Your notes mentioned how she's like secretly
Yeah.
working to protect animals from being persecuted.
Yes.
That's huge.
It is a big deal.
She's putting herself at risk to fight for those who can't fight back.
Exactly. That's where we start to see
Okay.
the selflessness, the classic hero stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really makes you think, would you be that brave?
Would I?
Yeah. Would you risk your own comfort, your safety for something you believed in that much?
That's a tough question.
It is. And it makes you realize how different Elphaba is
Yeah.
from that, like, cackling, wicked witch we all grew up with.
Oh, totally. It's a total makeover.
Right. And then there's her relationship with Glinda.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
It throws a wrench in everything.
Right.
They start off as rivals.
Yeah. But even then,
Yeah.
you see Elphaba trying to understand Glinda.
She wants to forgive her,
Yes.
even when everyone misunderstands her.
It's amazing.
It's such a fascinating relationship. You have these two iconic figures
right.
supposed to be total opposites.
Yeah.
And Maguire gives them this complicated, messy
Yes.
relationship.
And it shows Elphaba can look past all that surface stuff
Right.
and connect with someone on a real level.
It makes you question everything you think you know about good and bad.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying people aren't black and white.
Exactly.
It is.
Especially not the ones we think we have figured out. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because as Elphaba grows
Yeah.
and faces all these challenges, her compassion,
Yes.
it like fuels her courage to stand up to the wizard.
Oh, yeah.
And the wizard, let's be honest,
Yeah.
he's not exactly Mr. Nice Guy.
Not at all.
He's actually pretty manipulative, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Totally. Maguire paints him as a master manipulator.
Yeah.
Someone who thrives on fear and misinformation.
To hold on to power,
Exactly.
which makes Elphaba's defiance even more impressive.
It does, yeah.
She sees right through him
She does.
and refuses to be silenced.
There's this one scene I remember
Oh, yeah.
where she straight up challenges his policies.
In front of everyone.
Publicly, yeah.
Wow.
Especially the ones about animals' rights.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's intense. Talk about guts.
That's not speaking truth to power.
No,
That's like shouting it from the rooftops.
it is.
It reminds me of all those real-world situations
Yeah.
where people stand up to these oppressive regimes. They risk everything
They do.
for what they believe in.
It's incredible.
It makes you think about what sacrifices people are willing to make for their principles.
For sure. And what's fascinating is how Elphaba becomes this symbol of defiance for everyone who feels oppressed, like a beacon of hope against tyranny,
Wow.
according to your notes at least.
That's amazing.
She becomes this lightning rod, attracting both admiration and fear.
Like a magnet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People who feel powerless see her as a champion, but those in power,
Oh, I see.
they see her as a threat.
To control.
Yeah, it really highlights how perceptions are manipulated.
By the people in charge.
Exactly. Especially when someone challenges how things are.
It makes you think about how we label people.
It does, yeah.
Like hero or villain.
Right.
It's not always so simple, is it?
Not at all. And that complexity comes through in her personal life.
Oh, yeah.
Her relationship with Fiyero.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Maguire describes this intense love between them.
Okay.
But her commitment to fighting for justice,
Yeah.
it creates this constant tension.
Like she's pulled in two directions.
Exactly.
Her heart and her conscience.
Right. And speaking of sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
that tension leads to some serious consequences.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't end well.
No, it's heartbreaking.
Tell me about it.
Maguire writes, "Love is not always wise or kind. Sometimes it is a weapon in the hands of fate."
Wow.
Powerful stuff, right?
Seriously.
And it captures the struggle Elphaba faces perfectly.
She loses him.
Yeah, and it's directly tied to her fight for justice.
Talk about a sacrifice.
Right. It makes you think, would you?
Give up the person I love most.
Yeah, to fight for what you believe in?
I don't know if I could.
It's a heavy question.
It is, but it's what Maguire wants us to think about.
He does. True heroism.
Yeah.
It often means making these impossible choices.
Putting others first.
Yes, even above your own happiness.
And it's not just Fiyero, is it?
You're right.
Her work to liberate animals
Yes.
puts her in direct conflict with the wizard.
With his whole army.
She's risking everything.
Every single day.
But it's more than just physical safety, too, right?
Absolutely.
The wizard's propaganda,
Oh, yeah.
it paints her as this
wicked,
dangerous monster
And she accepts that label
to protect the others.
to let the resistance continue.
It's like she becomes a scapegoat.
It is, taking the blame so others can be safe.
That's a heavy burden.
It is. But it shows how much she cares.
Selfless.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's not just taking the blame.
There's more.
She's demonized,
Wow.
isolated, alone.
All for this greater cause.
It really challenges our idea of what a hero is.
Someone who's celebrated.
Yeah. Adored.
Not Elphaba.
No, hers is a different kind of heroism.
More complex.
And honestly, more human.
It's not about glory for her.
No.
It's about doing what's right.
Even when it hurts.
Even when it costs her everything.
And that brings us to the final showdown.
With the wizard.
Head on.
She knows the risks.
But she's ready
To risk it all.
to expose his lies and give hope to everyone.
It's amazing.
It is.
She goes from this outcast
Yeah.
to a symbol of heroism.
A complete 180 from the wicked witch we thought we knew.
It all comes back to compassion.
It does, yeah.
It fuels her courage, her sacrifice, everything.
That's what's so brilliant about Maguire.
He makes us question those labels.
Right, good and evil.
He makes us see the shades of gray.
Wicked is not your typical hero story.
No, it's messy.
It's complex.
And it forces us to look at some hard truths.
About ourselves and the world.
It's like he's saying,
Yeah.
don't just accept what you're told.
Question everything.
Figure it out for yourself.
It's empowering.
Totally. He wants us to challenge those narratives.
To recognize that heroism can be found in the most unexpected places.
Even in a wicked witch.
Exactly. Even in the darkest times, there's hope.
And a chance for change.
Elphaba's journey is so inspiring.
She never gives up.
Never compromises.
Never stops fighting.
Powerful message.
Wicked shows us that heroism isn't about magic or privilege.
It's about having the courage to stand up for what's right.
Even when it's hard.
Even when no one agrees with you.
And never underestimate the power of compassion.
And empathy.
It's just as strong as any magic spell.
Absolutely. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's Elphaba's compassion that drives her heroism.
That fuels her fight against injustice.
That's what makes her so relatable.
Even with green skin and a pointy hat.
Exactly. So for anyone who wants to challenge the way things are,
And see the world's complexities,
read Wicked.
you'll experience her journey firsthand.
All the messy, heartbreaking, triumphant glory.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what stands out to you most?
What should our listener really think about? Maguire makes us question good and evil.
Yeah.
It makes you think, who gets to decide who's wicked?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. And how often do we misjudge people based on labels?
Powerful stuff.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive.
Into the heroic evolution of Elphaba.
Till next time.
Keep questioning
Keep exploring.
and keep diving deep.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just judge people based on what we see on the surface, right?
Oh, total.
But Wicked is like this reminder.
Yeah.
There's always more to the story.
Oh,
Maguire's giving us permission to question everything.
to think for ourselves.
Exactly.
He really pushes us to see the nuances.
Yeah. To recognize that it's not just good versus evil.
Like, the world isn't black and white.
Right. There's so much gray area.
And that's where the interesting stuff happens, right?
That's where the real stories are.
It makes me think about how often I just slap a label on someone.
Oh, yeah.
without even trying to understand them.
So easy to do.
It is. It's a good reminder to be more open-minded.
Or more compassionate.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all complex. We all have our own struggles.
We're on battles.
Wicked is like an invitation.
Okay.
To see those battles in everyone.
Even the people we think are the bad guys.
Even the villains.
And that's what makes Elphaba's story so powerful.
It's not just good versus evil.
It's about empathy and courage.
Standing up for what's right, even when it's hard.
Even when you have to sacrifice.
Exactly. Elphaba shows us. What does she show us? That heroism isn't about being perfect.
Or always making the right call.
It's about messing up.
And learning.
Growing from your experiences.
Never giving up.
On what you believe in.
It's like she's saying,
Yeah.
we all have the potential for heroism.
No matter how flawed we are.
It's about finding that courage inside.
And letting it lead you.
And remembering that even small acts of kindness
Or defiance.
can make a difference.
You don't need magic powers to be a hero.
Just the will to fight for what's right.
In any way you can.
So to wrap up this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
we want you to go experience Wicked yourself.
Dive into Elphaba's journey.
Let her story inspire you.
To embrace those complexities.
To challenge what you think you know.
And to find that hero inside you.
And never forget
What's that?
the power of compassion.
And the courage to stand up for what you believe in.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Wicked.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep questioning
Keep exploring.
and keep diving deep.